Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Four Horsemen. And everyone is here. We're running a little bit behind, but we're squared away today. And gentlemen, I'm sure everyone knows who you are, but why don't you introduce yourselves? So, Trent, you want to lead, and we'll go, I don't know, whichever way. I guess Lou then.
Sure, why not?
Trent, either way.
Vision Preparedness. Good to see everybody. Skull.
Howdy, I am Mike from Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Good to see everybody. Thank you for being here. He's rocking the shirt. I'm not rocking the shirt, but he's rocking the shirt. Appreciate it.
I am the Livingston man. I'm his, number one sidekick and just all around cool guy. I round out the panel,
Awesome, gentlemen. And I am the roaming prepper. I'll be the host tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do the cool horseman intro. And we keep trying to do new intros. I really need to update mine because you all changed yours and then you got censored. So maybe I should leave mine. Now I'm kind of scared. Anyway.
Tater chip.
All right. We're going.
At South, they go to Bay Harbor Hospital, 923045.
As a result of the outbreak,
at 1143.
the entire region may be in danger of
SHP authorization
If
is
conditions at your location make this a
4105.
possibility, you need to consider staying in place until the threat has subsided or blown over. The following steps will ensure that your home will serve as a biological or chemical safe haven. Select an inner room on an upstairs floor with the least number of windows and doors. Choose a large room with access to a bathroom and a telephone.
Five affirmative, break, medevac 39, advisory 97 times 39.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So let's say hi to some of the folks in chat. Loretta was our first one in. I'm pissed off. Mama in your prayer. Oh, Mama is in the hospital, I believe. So, folks,
prayers.
Be sure to say prayers. And if you know Loretta, leave good messages. Mr. Don, number 2 tonight. KP Heathen, welcome. Wisconsin. Coffee, everyone's favorite coffee lover. Scott. Hello, Billy. All right. Well, folks, we have JD, Betty Lou. Oh, now I'm losing. Now the chat jumped. So, all right. To anyone I did not say hi to, the chat just like jumped 100 lines. So, all right. So, gentlemen.
Storm kiddo, you guys hear that, dude? He's on his way somewhere. About to get rained on around here.
I'm telling you. So, gentlemen, how's your week been so far?
Hectic. I had to deliver my truck to the dealership today, and I got a 2024 Jeep Compass, and it's poop. It's poop. $40,000 worth of poop. Please do not buy a Jeep Compass. If you have one, I feel for you.
Oh no.
It ain't nothing like the Hemi, bro. Ain't nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
Hemi, bro, it's over.
Oh man. Well, sounds. How about you, Trent, Lou? How are you guys doing today?
It's Monday all over.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
it's hectic and it's crazy and I'm about ready to just, blow a gasket.
Yeah.
But I can't. Because bug out weekend is right around the corner.
Oh God. When is it? What are the dates?
15th through the 18th.
All right.
9 days. 9 days. We count them down here.
And I believe you are sold out. All the spots are taken for that one, right?
Yep. And closed.
So they will be live streaming, I'm sure. But if you wanted to go in person, you missed your chance.
You're going to have to catch the next one.
Go to next year's. Yep.
That's right.
Lou, how about you, bud?
Well, Yeah, like Trent said, I'm kind of a high-strung, anxious person as it is. Maybe you guys ever heard me speak before on a live stream, but every day's fucking Monday, man. Like every day, it's just like, oh, God. Like I'd walk into traffic, but they would miss me. Like that's my luck. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired. People be like, "How's life, bro?" I'm like, "It's taking forever." Thanks.
I'm telling you.
No, well, all jokes aside, it's great to stay busy and stuff, but yeah, it'll start like, and the season is ramping up, and the hibernation period's over, and it's just
It'd be nice to
in
take
the fast lane, sure to make you lose your mind.
There you go, and you even get some singing from the Livingston man today. All right, so gentlemen, I got 3 questions. I'll let you decide. Do you want number 1, 2, or 3, and we'll just.
Can we go down? Can we go down the middle and do number 2?
Sure.
All right.
I thought you were gonna like put it to a vote. Like I got it. Like I've drawn.
If you want to vote, it's different. You can.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I'll rock 3 questions, dude. I don't care.
All right. So it'll be question 2 then. So the first of the ships with the tariff, it should be ED, goods will be arriving in the next few weeks. What are your suggestions to our viewing audience as we're waiting for that batch of stuff to arrive?
All right. So I'm a avid Amazon like browser. I'll be on there. I'd be like, I wake up in the morning. I'd be like, I feel like I need something from Amazon today, And I've seen the prices and some things like go drastically higher, but I've seen the prices of other things kind of stay the same or even be on sale because it boils down to what's in the country now and what's got to come in later, or almost the way they do gas prices where they have to figure out how much it's going to cost tomorrow, and that's what they got to sell it to you for today. We have the DJI Pocket 3 cameras. Obviously not a survival thing, but when we bought them, I bet you they were like $520.
Yeah.
Try to buy one today, it's like $1,200.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Boom. Like those tariffs are straight real, dude. So you got to look for domestic stuff, or you got to look at stuff that's already like kind of like in a high supply that's here in the country in the warehouses now. There is no tariffs on it because it's already bought and paid for by the middleman, in this case, Amazon. But yeah, because once it starts coming in, or you're buying something that's a month out or whatever, you're paying like double for it. And they said there's going to be some pain with it, but I'm not sure where this whole tariff thing goes in the end. Hopefully everybody, governments especially, because they're the ones in charge of it, realize to get tired of it, or that people aren't happy with it, and they start rolling it back and making trade deals and working this out. I think that what this is just the opening salvo towards renegotiation of all this stuff.
Okay.
Well said. Well said. I think personally, I think if there's something that you're going to need real soon, and that it's made overseas, and there is no other alternative here in the States, I'm going to say things that you might not have thought of, like tires, like brakes for your car, that little job on your car, whatever the part is that's not necessity, but it's been bad for a while and you need to fix it. Get it now. Those things are only going to go up. Let's face it, folks, manufacturing does not really exist too awful much in the good old US of A. And Trent said it last night. I think 75% of our medications come from China. So that's a huge thing. I mean, beyond the car parts, stock up on meds, guys. Stock up on meds, because once you get financially beat, you usually end up sick after the fact. So after they beat you financially, you're probably going to catch a cold and need tissues and everything else. So stock up on the meds. I think those are super duper important, especially right now. And again, if it's from China and you're going to need a replacement soon, now is the time. For me, I'm a contractor, so tools are on the menu, right?
Yeah.
All the tools are made in China. Every freaking one of them. The batteries, the tools, the everything.
Well, I have a DeWalt drill that's made in the USA from Global Materials, which means they shipped a box of parts here from China and some guy assembled it. Now
Correct.
It's made in the USA.
Yeah, but it's not really. So the prices on those things are going to go up as well. So if you've been putting something off and you have the money to do it, now's the time to pull the trigger on that before it gets worse.
Yep, and I agree, because it's either Advanced Auto or AutoZone. They're closing 76 stores across the country.
Mm.
So, you know, car parts, anything that, well, everything that you may need, you may want to get it now, because as Mike said, we don't make anything in this country anymore.
Yeah, and let's face it, unless stated otherwise, probably it's from China.
Yeah.
Correct.
Or some other poor Asian country that Trump's got beef with for whatever reason. So,
Now, I remember when I was younger, everything back in the day said made in Taiwan on the back of it. That has kind of fallen by the wayside, hasn't it? I think China has kind of taken over most of that. They probably did it even cheaper than Taiwan did.
Taiwan's whole thing is microchips and like graphics cards.
I was going to say, that's Taiwan's whole economy. Yes. But, you know, the necessities, what do you need that is a necessity? And we all have wish lists and wants and blah, blah, blah. But right now, I would focus on any necessity that you have to have. Car parts, brake pads, oil, filters, light bulbs, consumables that you use, if not daily, weekly, or monthly. Focus on those.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the comments ask, like, what do you suppose, like car parts? I mean, like, you're looking at ones with a high fail rate or ones that are like, you know, supposed to be replaced.
Yeah, your belts, your alternator,
even headlight bulbs.
Water pump.
And it boils down to like, will it get you pulled over, or will the vehicle still work right without it? Work from there. But you know, like the wiper blades, I don't know, like your consumable type of stuff. Like you're not gonna like stock up on like spare alternators and all this stuff just sitting in the garage. You got it like that, do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shouldn't, we don't think, be a tariff on your mechanic working on your car, or if you know how to do it yourself. But yeah, the auto parts would be a big thing, because even like a lot of Ford and like so-called American cars, a lot of this stuff comes through and across the Canadian border
Or the Mexican border. Yeah.
Yes.
I know a lot of Dodges are actually made in Mexico, and that was a big thing. So Ram is actually bringing the trucks back to Detroit now, so that they can get around the tariffs, so that the tradespeople don't get zapped with the tariffs.
Now, this is the upside of tariffs. That's what they're supposed to do, is bring, you know, on its face, bring manufacturing back home. Nice. We both did that at the same time.
Hey, yeah.
A jinx cough. That's a new one.
The thing is, I saw an internet meme where it was basically like, who wants to bring manufacturing back home? Everybody raise their hand. Who wants to work in a factory? Nobody raised their hand.
No.
So we will have to get over that as well, unless they force that on us too. And, you know, I guess I'll go work in the factory.
Yeah, no kidding. And, you know, what was it? The first round was 145%. And then
And then
went for China, went to what, 240?
Yeah, some crazy
Something
number
like that.
Yeah.
So you said that camera was what, 500, and now it's over 12?
Yeah.
That's about 2.5, multiplied by 2.5. That's about right.
Yeah. Like 250% basically is what it comes down to.
Exactly. So what else as far as food products, say, you know, because we talked about more technological, electronics, auto parts. What about food, clothing? What are your thoughts? Folks should start thinking about that in that regard.
As far as food goes, I think most of it comes from the good old US of A. You know, we do get a lot of stuff.
If you're buying food from China, like that's
that's scary. Yeah.
But
clothing.
You're reaching. So my gig on clothing is this, man. I got a needle. I got thread. I know how to mend things. They taught me in home economics class back in high school how to sew the soccer ball together, right? So
Out of
Boys
coast,
in
yeah.
front of sewing machines making the frogs gay.
But
I forgot about that.
personally, I'm trying to get back to things that I can repair. If I'm purchasing something, I'm looking at it from the mindset of, can I fix this if it F's up, right? Can I get this thing to work again if something happens to it? And I'm a pretty handy guy, so I look for those things. If it feels cheap, I'm not really interested in it. I'd rather buy the heavy duty something that's going to last a little bit longer at this point.
Right.
I'm kind of looking at longevity in my purchases here nowadays. So
yeah,
that's just me though.
Okay.
I think something we should watch again is the Canadian border when it comes to if you're a tradesperson in your construction, or is the wood.
Wood.
Yeah, real prices.
Oh, yeah.
We already saw this in the bad old days of the pandemic, where like they ran out of it and like couldn't ramp up production again because of ridiculous mandates and what have you. But then it became like an issue to get it started again, and then it was really expensive.
Yeah.
And most of that, like, I mean, Canada is like half farmland and half like just taiga forest. All your pine products in general probably come from Canada or Canadian forests, at least, which means it's got to cross that border. You're going to see price jump there. That's going to touch a lot of people's hearts and minds too when that happens, especially being summer. Everybody wants to build a deck and a chicken coop and a shed and every other thing. But at the end of the day, what does it boil down to is the argument against tariffs is that who really ends up paying them? We do. You pay that. The manufacturer just passes all cost along to the consumer. And so by tariffing the crap out of stuff, it's going to force us to be a little bit more responsible in what we spend our money on, I suppose, but also take away a little bit of our freedom of choice.
True. Do you think it might have been better informed? And this is not to get political, but maybe say, okay, we're going to beat up China.
Should have been better informed. I know that. He learned it from Fox News, and that's all we know.
But hit China only and leave like Canada and Mexico out of it or something like that.
I think maybe a little, I don't want to like see your monologue, but I think a little flexing on the North American continent was correct. Like with what I hope to see is like Canada and Mexico and the United States come together in sort of a North American union. You know what I mean? Like,
trade alliance. Absolutely.
Like
absolutely.
we three over here, like we run in this whole hemisphere, upper part of it anyway. Yeah. And do that. But all the rivalry around the world, those three countries cannot just on a sheer scale of production match China. China's become what apparently people think like
the U.S. used to be.
Yeah.
The industrial powerhouse.
But what it is a bunch of like underfed, malnourished, mistreated people that live with like, China has weather conditions like smoke and smog, and it's an unhealthy place to live. And human rights aren't exactly held up, and there ain't no such thing as a union.
Right.
So, temper that when you start bringing manufacturing home. At least here in America, we have like a different system when it comes to that. But the American way is expensive. I ain't getting out of bed for $30 an hour, said every American when they want them to go to work in the factory. Like, they better make it worth people's while. They're going to do this.
That's a big one, man. I think the gap, the financial gap is widening rapidly.
People are tired of slaving for an overlord as it is.
Yeah, and the financial gap widens. Your money goes less further because things are going up. Your wages aren't going to go up, guaranteed that. I know a lot of people who are taking pay cuts now because of the tariffs. Just trying to save a business that deals solely in Chinese product, right?
Yep.
So if they didn't take a pay cut, that whole entire industry would be gone tomorrow. So they really don't have a choice but to take a significant pay cut and just try and keep forging ahead. And what it's going to lead to is folks working extra jobs, side hustles, multi-generational housing again. I think I think hard times are on the horizon, like just over the hill, and the downslope is some hard times. So buckle up your belt, man. It's going to be interesting.
That's right. Buckle up, Dorothy. We ain't in Kansas no more.
And you know, it's funny because I've heard a lot of people say it would, maybe that's a good thing, that when you have the generations come back, you get the big property and like the son moves to that part of the acreage, and it may actually help bring
I don't even know
families
if it's
back again.
I don't know if it's going to be that big, Pete. I think we're going to be talking about folks
Everyone in
sharing
one house. Yeah.
bedrooms and folks sharing, people sleeping in the living room and things like that. I mean, the housing here in New York State is out of freaking control. Out of control. If you want to move in condition, it's $500,000.
Even
That's
outside the city?
And it's on a postage stamp. This is here in the Hudson Valley, $500,000 for moving condition.
Literally next door to my house, bro. 2 acres and a 1940s house that was cosmetically renovated. 505.
Yeah. This is the market that we live in now. I saw a mobile home.
People fought over it too. That wasn't even the price. It was actually for something.
Mobile home on, I think it was an acre and a half.
It's insane.
For $279,000. The garage burnt the other day, so they don't even have the garage anymore, and they didn't lower the price.
I saw today there's a decrepit hotel. It's completely unusable. Will probably just have to be bulldozed. Sits on 15 acres, $698,000, and the building's completely unusable.
Wow.
So is it a function of insufficient quantity?
No,
or is it just
artificial
the price?
Scarcity?
Ooh, well played, Livingston, man.
Because Berkshire Hathaway and BlackRock come around, they're like cash in hand for your house, and then they foreclose, kick you out, and they keep it empty.
Or they just buy you out and then they rent it.
Or no, they don't rent it.
No,
because then you would create supply, and then you don't have demand. Do you understand what they're doing?
Oh.
The roaming prepper, you cannot find a rental here for under $2,000 a month. You have to have a 700 credit score and income verification to even have a chance.
First, last, security.
Yeah, you need like 10 grand to move into a house.
Pay the real estate broker for a half month's rent for hooking it up for just money. Yo, life in New York State, you can't even go outside without spending $30.
It's unsustainable.
We have some elevated prices in West Texas, but it's generally a lack of housing. It's not enough housing, and so its supply is too low and demand is too high because of the energy.
Here it's manufactured. There's a poem by a guy. He said, "Homeless, I stood amongst the rows of empty houses."
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can buy a house in Detroit for $500. That's 2,000 square feet. I don't know if you want the house.
Any man's dream, I'll tell you what.
There was a time here, right up the road in the city of Hudson. It's a little tiny city, and a couple of years ago, just after the 2008 crisis, they would literally give you the deed to the house if you could prove that you had enough money in your bank account to refurbish it. They would give you the deed to the house. It was a free home. You just had to be able to renovate it because they wanted to revitalize the area.
Right.
Well, they revitalized and they turned what used to be kind of a slummy city.
They gentrified
into an antiques paradise for folks from the city, folks from Massachusetts. They made it their cheeky little city town. And now the prices of those things are astronomical. Well, no, those are probably more like 1.5, 1.
Wow, because they're in the downtown area.
Well, they built it all back up now, and they brought the shops back, and they brought everything back.
Now it's a historic district.
I got to be honest with you, the people that live there cannot afford to go to the places that are in the town. That's why they hide Walmart out into the next town because that's the only place they can afford to go.
We are the people who are actually from here and live here are treated and sometimes feel like we're just resort staff.
Yeah. So around the corner from me, listen to this, because I've been eyeing this house this property. It came on the market, 10 acres.
Okay.
The house was built in 1900, completely restored, top to bottom, 4,000 square feet, 7 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, complete 2-bedroom mother-in-law suite, lower level, kitchen, everything, 15-car garage, attached 2-bedroom apartment
That's a
with
family
its own
compound.
address, 4-stable horse barn,
It's a ranch. Yeah.
$1.7 million.
Fucking worth it.
That's
That's
a bargain
substantial.
compared to what's going on.
It's been on the market for 2 years. She took it off the market that last winter and put it back on the market. It was originally on the market for 1.9, and she lowered the price to 1.7 million.
That's really.
That's unheard of in New York. I don't want to
Yeah.
get into what that would
I'd
get
see
you
it
here.
in Texas and Oklahoma, not
Yeah.
New York or
And I'm
Cali.
sitting here like, really? For
The 10 acres of dirt is $1 million here in upstate New York.
Used to be
And
10,000 an acre. I'm pretty sure it's more than that
it's
now.
pigeonholed by farmland.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, see, we just a population center, all these people, all this demand, and this artificially strangled supply leads to
Right.
what's doing here. New York is made for, Wolves of Wall Street types, and boy, are they here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Airbnb, the Airbnbs, the VRBOs, they really screwed us up because folks came up out of the city with money in their pockets and they were like, oh, I could buy that and rent it out and do the same thing. And, they're making
Right.
good money off this place.
Right.
So they came up and they bought it during COVID, sight unseen, just buy. Oh, it's on for sale, sold, buy it.
You couldn't believe
Done.
that we live like cheaply like that.
And they come up here and now,
They inflated
now
everything.
they're all Airbnb, so there's no long-term rentals for anybody. You either have to be able to buy a home or enjoy being fucking homeless because those are your two options at this juncture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And from a preparedness standpoint, that's a hell of a hurdle.
Yeah.
If you gotta leave a city, even if there's not an apocalypse, it's just like economically. We've
Mhm.
seen cities just crash economically.
Yeah.
San Francisco pretty much did it, 8 years ago? They're
Yeah.
about to do it again if they don't clean up. But you got to move out of town. You can't afford anything.
Exactly. The farmer behind me sold 62 acres of his farmland. Okay. Some guy bought it for $500,000.
Oh, wow.
And then on top of it, probably put a $400,000 or $500,000 house that he built with this massive barn, garage, whatever. So he spent $1 million over this property of 62 acres.
Seeing something
like-
that big, there's a family compound there. You
Yeah,
put your son 10 acres over there and move the other kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What happened? It started really during when again, like we can always harken back to the pandemic. That was when everything kind of changed from a point of no return aspect, and it was an invasion we didn't necessarily see coming. What we thought we were going to see here in upstate New York was like lines of cars coming up the Parkway, choking out traffic, like chaos and whatnot. Actually, these people were just on Zillow buying like our neighbors' houses.
Yeah.
Moving up in here like they didn't, and then just, turning it into like, Mike said, Airbnbs and short-term rentals and I guess creating this artificial scarcity of housing and without any regard. Forgive them, they know not what they do, but with utter disregard and no consideration for the people that actually live here because of the panic instilled by the situation. It was something that we didn't see coming, something that I refuse to miss should there ever be reason for that to happen again.
Yeah. And the lady with the 10 acres, the property taxes on that property are $10,000 a year.
That's what you pay for a postage stamp in Dutchess County.
That's I can't even.
So the median income here in 2023 in the county that we live in is $42,153.
Mhm.
Folks that make that don't qualify for a mortgage, hands
Right.
down. Household income of 83,619. That was the same year.
So what they tell you is like, well, yeah, well, they're like, well, we don't think you can pay this $800 a month mortgage, and it's like, oh well, fuck me, I guess I'll just go back to paying $1,500 a month rent.
Yeah, $1,500 a month for rent is cheap nowadays here.
Wow.
And
That's
you know, a lot of
that's
folks
standard.
aren't moving either because we got, you know,
Yeah.
2% when we got this house. This was pre-Rona.
Yeah.
And so we were looking, and you know, my wife was a realtor here in Texas. She was like, she ran the comps herself. She said basically, she said if we get something else, we'd Airbnb this one or rent it.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't sell it because it just wouldn't make sense.
There's a lot of people here who would like to sell and move, but they are so nervous because the price of everything just keeps going up. You know, some homes are on the market for a little while and they don't sell, and they'll drop the price by 20 grand and then it's gone.
Yeah.
But what do you do if you sell it? You can't be here anymore. You know what I mean? You sell your house for $400,000. You're not buying anything for that because I'm sure you got $200,000 mortgage to pay off. Now you only got 200 grand in hand.
You got to build a tent out of your dollar bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
build a tent out of your dollar bill. That's about right.
Exactly. I lucked out. The last house I lived in, I built, and when I sold it, it was 2 years old. And that was right when the seller's market was like this, vertical. So you pretty much could ask, and it was a bidding war. And I took the majority of the profit from that sale and put it down on this house with acreage, 5 acres. And I got it at an amazing price because the owner moved to Florida and literally dropped the price of the house 30 grand.
Nice.
Yeah. But everything's upside down. And with the tariffs and everything and the shortages coming, we're getting ready to get hammered.
Yeah. If you want a little bit of hope, I'm not going to give it to you. If you don't own property in a home now, at this point, you ain't gonna.
Yeah. Talk to mom. If mom owns something, that's your best bet. Grandma, if grandma's got a place, but please don't let your family sell the house. Don't let them sell the farm. Right. Don't let them sell it. No. Don't go there and beg and plead with them and do whatever you have to do to make sure that it stays within the family and that they're okay with family coming there should they need to.
Yeah.
You know, the more we've all spoken, I've already spoken to my oldest daughter, who's the one who just moved to Cali for work. And she and her fiance are like, you know, we're thinking if we go back to Texas, we're just going to get acreage. She said we can split, like everybody get adjacent acreage and just have all the family within like 5 miles of each other. And like a big spread out compound, even if it's just around the same town. And that makes a hell of a lot of sense with what you guys are saying. I mean, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Well, to be able to support each other and help each other out. Again, I really think the multi-generational housing is going to make a booming comeback because without it, folks are going to be on the street.
It's going to become a necessity. It's going to be how that works, you know.
You guys read The Grapes of Wrath. I'm sure it may be since high school, but
completely relevant today. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Does that jive? I mean, you can see where I'm going there. Like, I think it's very relevant. Granted, it's not the people from Oklahoma going to Cali. I think they're just people going everywhere.
Call it that. I mean, the Grapes of Wrath gets the angry young man kind of label stuck on it, but it's so much more than that. It's
it is more.
It's an everyman. It's the sentiment burned under the surface. Everybody's got it, man. It's the everything costs too much. Who are these like big wigs in charge, robbing everybody while they sit in putting another golden toilet in the house while I ain't got no job and moving from town to town and like just out of touch elites.
Yeah.
It's all relevant. It's just a repeat of history, man. You know, with different circumstances.
Well, the circumstances are similar. I guess the kickoff
different context. I think
Incident,
the word
yeah.
I was looking for. Yeah.
No, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it wasn't so much the Dust Bowl or like a famine per se. It was more. You're right. I think the Rona
You could use
really,
those words symbolically, though. Dust bowl, like just a rotten wasteland where there's nothing for anybody out here. You're applying for jobs, and again, they do a thing here with bigger business where again, jobs are an artificial scarcity. Like apply online. 10 billion people apply online. AI rejects them all. To where they're picking and choosing about who they hire, if they hire anybody at all, because the more people they hire, that's a burden on the budget, and then people can't make the big money. You can't hire a new hire at $25 an hour when you're paying the guy who's been there 10 years 18. So they just don't.
Sad but true.
Make the guy who's doing 18 an hour 3 jobs.
Yeah.
Cost efficient.
Yeah, you do more with less people, and then you burn out the people, but nobody wants to quit. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they can't because homelessness and starvation
Twice
ensues.
as much.
The Four Horsemen visit you. You lose your job in America, one of us will come see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Maybe all of us,
Jeez.
except war. Hopefully, war doesn't come.
That one.
I'll be the
nobody
first
wants
one
me coming
at your door. They call me the famine.
in. The famine.
When you feel your stomach growling, Mike is around.
That's right.
Yeah, it's
right.
bad.
And
So
America, the way what we're describing is what you would think you describe like Soviet Russia or communist China, or
Cuba.
Cuba or something like that. No, we're talking about upstate New York here,
Yeah.
and in a broader sense, America as a whole.
Yeah, we're talking about an hour south of the capital of New York, Albany, 2 hours south of the biggest city in the world, New York City.
North, 2 hours.
Yeah, north of. Yeah, we're being strangled by all these folks from the cities.
And we're describing third world country, like conditions.
and what's sad is the time and all the other garbage makes their way to your town too. And I'll bet the police are not equipped to handle that magnitude of nonsense.
Nope.
But okay, well, relevant to this, and that was a great topic because I really think housing, food costs is really on everyone's mind. And
well, 3/4 of the live stream on the first question. I can't wait to hear the second.
And honestly, the second question was kind of relevant to the first. So here, I'll go with this one then. So Walmart announced they're going to close 260 stores.
Holy shit.
Not all of them in the U.S., but around 200 in the U.S. And a few other stores are also listing. And Livingston Man pointed out, the artificial shortages of homes and jobs and employees. What is your take on this? Are they just trying to position themselves for higher costs? Or you think something else going on with this?
2 words: corporate greed.
Okay, well, elaborate.
Well, because as the price of everything goes up, and every metric points that the common person is having to get by with less and struggle and do the thing, seemingly with the biggest middle finger they can give us, every major corporation decides that they just want to keep posting record profits and waving it in our face as though this is somehow trickling down, which is a fucking phrase I hate, because what you mean to say is I'm being pissed on.
Yeah.
And even here,
he is trickling down.
I have some piss, please. And they're like, no, actually, fuck you.
You're not wrong, Livingston.
They're trickling on you.
We're saving on this. I'm like, please stop hoarding your piss. They're like, no, I will hoard my piss.
Yeah, this comment, Mike, Big Lots went out of business. They closed every single store they owned.
Yep, they did. We watched them fold here, and now every Rite Aid is leaving the state of New York. They are packing up and closing all stores in New York State.
Yep.
So
right, Robert.
they'll be gone soon. So Walmart itself has
Walmart is a Chinese outlet store.
5,205 stores. Now 600 of those are Sam's Clubs. So the number of Walmarts is 4,605, right?
Okay.
You know that wherever you're at, you're probably about 30 to 40 minutes from a Walmart,
If not less.
whatever direction you go. So if they close 600 globally, I don't think that's big.
Right.
But I do think, like you said, Pete, I think they are setting themselves up for the tariffs that are coming. They already have no freaking associates. There's people who stock the shelves. The guy that stands at the door and wants to accost you for your receipt because you self-checked out.
Mine don't even care.
There is nobody running a register anymore. I remember when I was younger, you'd go to the store and every aisle was open. The lights were on and there was somebody there doing something, making a living. Now there isn't. Walmart, majority of their employees are on welfare. They pay them so low, they keep them all part-time. They get no benefits. They get no nothing. You have to be corporate for Walmart to actually make money.
That's interesting you point that out because there's a young man in my family who was working at one of the pet chains, PetSmart, Petco, Petbud, whatever the hell it is. And he wanted to get the 40 hours a week and go to college part-time. And damn it, I find out that he just can't get the hours. They won't put him, they'll put him 35 or 36. And
because if they have worked 40 hours, they're full-time and you gotta give them benefits. And they said, then they shall work 39 and a half.
So New York State's a little bit different. If you work 32 hours a week in the state of New York, you are considered a full-time employee, whether they want to say so or not. That's just the way it works. Once you hit that 32 hours, you're a full-time employee. So what you're finding is all these people work 30 hours a week. That's all they will give them.
It's wage.
So do you think they said, hey, and this is just me conjecturing, they said, okay, the tariffs are going to be X increased in our cost.
Right.
So we're going to have to increase, and certain Walmarts are in areas where folks have fixed income. They may be, struggling in that area because the factory closed, whatever. So Walmart's not going to do well. If we increase costs, nobody's going to buy anything. So we're going to shut it and keep the ones that make more profit open. I mean, does that make sense? That
Totally.
The way I'm thinking of it, that they're probably like any store that makes less than 6% profit, we're just going to shut it.
And now the store that they shut down in that small town that they literally ran all the local businesses out now becomes a desert.
Yep.
And why?
That's true.
So that the corporate bottom line remains roughly the same.
That's right.
With utter disregard to anything below it. This is the thing you have to understand. I know a lot of people like to come out from big business and billionaires. America needs it. But you got to temper that attitude with how heartless it really is. It doesn't care about you. It doesn't know you. It doesn't think about you. But aren't we all the ones that make it go?
Niels, you could add JC Penney to that list and a whole lot more companies, man. They are falling like crazy.
This is interesting. And I saw this in another city, not here yet, but I witnessed this. The Walmart, you can't use self-checkout unless you pay for Walmart Plus.
Walmart Prime? Are you fucking serious?
Walmart Prime, whatever the hell it's called.
Do you see how they laugh in your face and take your money?
So then you have to stay in the line with the person, but they never have enough people.
Right.
So now you have to be number 27 in line to get your milk.
You want to know how you fix this, guys? You
go shop somewhere else.
No, you complain. You complain. You send emails. You go to the fucking manager. You tell them that this is not cool. Why don't you go grab one of those dudes stocking shelves and put them on a register so we can get the hell out of here? If you're not going to let us just scan our stuff and go, that's trouble. $100 for Walmart Plus. Listen,
No way.
I'm ready to revert back as far as humanly possible. People talk about homesteaders. I want to be like a Great Depression fucking homesteader.
Red Dead Redemption, bro.
The system is so under my skin lately that I cannot wait to be able to unplug from it.
Please tell me that's $100. That's $100 a year. But then let's call that let's call it $10 a month. Imagine paying $10 at all to go to your local Walmart. You've seen what goes on down there. You're gonna pay to get in now. Essentially,
there's like drug addicts and perverts in the Walmart.
So you have the privilege of checking yourself out. And then it asks you some bullshit like, would you like to donate to the less fortunate?
Yeah.
I am him. Can I get a credit?
I am the less fortunate.
By the way, when you
to myself,
when
no matter
you
what,
donate,
you donate to me.
When you donate to the charity, they get a tax write-off. You don't.
Right.
Yes. No. Yeah. Come on. I always said, and I should stop saying things because they keep coming true. I was like, the final, the nail in America's coffin is when they make the Thank you. Just keep doing it.
That's awesome.
The nail in America's coffin is when they make you pay to go to work, and that is what that is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Not too far off.
You should get a 10% discount for using the self checkout, not pay $100 a year to fucking use it. Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to do your job for you.
Coffee, Walmart put in the self checkout, then they took it out because everyone stole stuff.
That's your duty.
That's what you get.
Yeah,
the founding fathers would have fucked Walmart over, dude. They would have threw all that shit in the ocean where it came from.
Rural put the complaint department is AI now. Have you guys seen the movie Elysium with not Brad Pitt? What's his name? Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Where the robot kicks his ass and then he has to go talk to his parole officer, and it's an AI, and he goes, "Would you like a pill? Do not be sarcastic with your parole officer." And I'm like, it's a robot.
That's like the same as dealing with YouTube. If you get in trouble with YouTube, you're not talking to a real person. You're talking to some AI something. I tried to pay a bill today. I tried to pay my New York State workers' comp insurance bill today. You can't get a person. You have to do everything online.
For pay $100 a year
for paying with my credit card, right? My bank card. They charged me an 8% fee on top of my bill for the convenience of paying online. I don't get it. I don't get it. They'd rather you mail them a check, and you can do that without a fee, but to pay online an 8% fee on top of your already astronomical bill.
That's insane.
It's nuts, man. It's nuts. Everything is so unsustainable at this point. Folks need to get in an uproar, straight up uproar. You need to email your congressman. You need to email whoever you need to email, the president of the United States, your congressman, your senator, your everybody, and tell them that life is becoming unsustainable. And we need you to do something about it. Our dollar isn't worth shit. It doesn't go anywhere. You go to the grocery store with $50 in your pocket, and you're lucky if you can pull off dinner tonight.
Yeah.
I like what Coffee put here, which actually that makes some sense too. If you live in like a city, so she has the Walmart Plus, but she gets free delivery or delivery to the car.
You know what happens?
So she doesn't have to
when you do that.
Go in the store.
The jamoke that's walking around with your shopping cart and your list, right? This jamoke is going to throw your grapes in first, and then he's going to throw your gallon of milk on top of them. We literally got grapes from a pickup order that were basically jelly at this point. The milk jug was leaking. Half the stuff they're like, I couldn't find it, so I just substituted this. I'm like, what the hell is that? And why is it $15 versus the $3 item that I was looking for? This it doesn't pan out. When I do the pickup orders, what I find is that everything is screwed up and nothing is right. So I just can't do it. I can't risk it.
If you can't do your own shopping, I don't mean to sound like a dick here, but you might be part of the problem.
Okay. What is this?
Why don't you just ask a robot? But you're asking a robot to do it. And you're getting the result of that.
Now this is cool what Savage Lee put. He was talking about the movie Elysium. When my local DVD, which is sad, the local movie rental store went out of business. He bought a third of the DVDs for Grid Down Movie Night. This is the kind of stuff we all need to be thinking about. If
Oh,
anyone
yeah.
takes anything away, is you go to the store and you're like, huh, those t-shirts are on sale and they have my size and my son's size. I'm going to buy 8 of those damn shirts.
Yep.
Yep.
Or, you know, oh,
Yep.
wow, they have, I don't know, batteries on sale. I'm going to buy a few extra batteries.
Yep.
We're going to have to start getting creative.
I like this. I just read an article today about a lot of smart TVs. In fact, most of them, maybe all of them, I don't know. But they have a USB port in them. And if you can somehow download your favorite movies, films, whatever that at H you want.
Pirates Bay.
Sailing the high seas, matey. Arr. You know, if the real ones know. But you can put those on a flash drive and plug it into your TV, and you don't have to. You can still watch movies and stuff,
Even when the internet's gone.
right? And if you plug your Opus into your TV, you can watch movies and take a break. You know what I'm saying?
See?
And your PlayStation will
factory
play
outlet
Blu-ray
right
too.
there.
That's right, Pete. That's right.
That's right. Or
Times I have booted up Grand Theft Auto 5 when we didn't have the internet and we were like, radio spotty here. We get like classic rock and country, and I was like, yo, and I would just get in the car in Grand Theft Auto and put the radio stations on because there's all kinds.
Yeah,
of
it's all classic music and or different channels, but it's the actual songs.
Yeah.
See, and then while you're listening to music, you can run over, beat Trevor, go punch some random NPC, and then go back in your car and drive away. Get your frustrations out of the game.
Or build your own Plex server, and you've got everything you need right there.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Gnostic Nomad. Never let my wife give my old clothes away to charity and save them all in the basement. Now that China's shutting them down, it seems I might have a good call being a hoarder. You know, you could even do a yard sale, weekly garage sale, and make some money on anything you don't think you'll reuse.
Totally.
Right.
Somebody in the chat earlier said that thrift stores are going to make a comeback. I hope some of them have survived this long because
Right.
I don't see a lot of them anymore.
We're
Used to
having
have a
neighborhood-
Salvation Army store. It's gone.
We
We're
have them
having
all.
neighborhood yard
Salvation
sales
Army
now.
and Goodwill thrift stores all over the place.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Goodwill is not their intent; it's yours. Goodwill takes what is donated to them and sells it for a profit. It's different than the Salvation Army. If you're into the
That's
thrift,
Yes.
That's true.
Goodwill is just like, we'll take your stuff you don't want, but we're going to sell it. That's a weird moral place. Like, didn't we talk about this one? Like, is Goodwill a dick? Like, if I had something and I gave it to you, I didn't want it.
Right.
I gave it to you, and then but then you turn around and sell it for $100. Should I be? Are you the asshole? Yeah, it's a funny thing. It's kind of, you can almost feel a way about it, but still.
Yeah.
If you're giving it away, like, you shouldn't care, I guess. But yeah, Goodwill is for profit, whereas the Salvation Army ostensibly is not.
Correct. That's true.
So I don't know if you guys caught on one of my, my little traveling live streams. I might actually, so because of the tariffs, my wife's like side business and all the people in her little association are trying to find new sources, and I might be making a trip to Juarez, Mexico in the next month to go find new sources that don't involve the country that we're angry at overseas.
Wow.
That might be a hell of a, if I could find some of those, like,
I want to go.
they call the pulgas, like the big, what do you call the big flea markets, and just see what's there. Assuming I don't wind up like, on TV with, a blindfold on.
Right. I was going to say,
Pete,
you
don't go down. That's an arms bazaar, Pete. Don't go down there, Pete. It's
That's
Fast
where I
and
found the
Furious shit
Livingston
over
Man.
there.
I'm telling you. Oh God, yeah, no. And there was a time you could go over the border, have a nice dinner, come back, buy tequila.
Right.
And now it's like all screwed up. We were better off with the 5 cartel families than what we have now. We got like little ones. But well, shoot, guys, that was like a 2-question live stream.
Yeah, give us the last one, bro. Give us don't leave us on.
Yeah.
Don't leave
Give us
us
the last
This
one.
is crazy. All
Right.
right, we got one more question for you. Hold on. I gotta figure out what I'm doing here. Okay, so here's one. Oh, wrong question. Here we go. So, barring us being directly involved, how do you think an escalation overseas would affect us here? And I'm talking places Taiwan, Israel, Ukraine. Do you think they'll escalate? And if so, would that actually make the economy better or worse? How do you think it'll hurt us or help
India
us?
fired on Pakistan today.
Yeah,
Launched
they
missiles
did.
at them.
Awesome.
They did.
To think things aren't going to escalate is foolish and dangerous.
Mhm.
Our gas prices are going to go up. It's just a matter of time.
I agree.
The stock market's going to do all kinds of this.
Oil, all of these things, they all have ripple effects, right? If the Strait of Hormuz closes, stuff's not getting shipped, right? There's a lot of things that can go wrong with this. These countries in Europe are half the size of some of our states here in the United States of America, right? I mean, they're fucking tiny.
Europe's
So,
got killer firepower, but they don't have the numbers.
so for that missile
Or
that'll
the fighting
travel
spirit.
2,500 miles, it's got to fly over multiple countries to reach its target. They often don't get launched in the country they're being aimed at. For one of these things to fall in the wrong place and for all of this to turn into a fiery inferno that is World War III, we're one accident away from that.
Yep.
I would agree.
I think if you look at the world situation with everybody fighting everybody and like alliances here, and we're cool with this guy, but not that guy, but we can't talk to this guy because we're cool with this dude. World War III is actually the myth. It is World War III. The world is at war. Every continent, every alliance has got some shooting and some BS going on. They're playing it like a football game, though. I think that in terms of escalation, it's actually, again, controlled. It's a controlled burn. It's meant to burn at a certain temperature, but be maintained, which they've turned what we call war into I can't think of another way to put it than a football game.
Yeah.
For more or less, besides the horrific atrocities that occur because war is what it is.
Right.
The way it's played on the grander scheme is to be perpetual. It's never supposed to end. There's always going to be somebody unhappy with the consequence, and there's really no consequence. Indeed, there is no consequence to really
I'm hearing echoes of Orwell from you, man. Like 1984, that airfield one or whatever Europe was called.
They used it as an
always fighting with the East and fighting with the West.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they would parade prisoners, but nobody really knew what was going on.
Right. Mike called Ukraine a money furnace.
It is.
As well as a proving ground.
Yep.
For new equipment and tactics. You need these. They can't just stop.
It kind of looks like World War I again, but with drones. Like their guys I never thought I'd see that. Is you have Bradleys fighting, like Cold War tanks. Then you have guys in trenches having really ugly up close fights, and then dudes fighting each other with drones all at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost surreal.
Gamers killing each other. That's
exactly what it is.
It all off. They're trying to bait us into a war with Iran.
Yep.
Isn't that the last of the 7 countries they wanted to? Back in the day, it was like Iran, Iraq, Sudan. I can't remember them all.
Yeah,
probably got Syria on the list. Probably got Libya. We got those.
It started with Iraq, and then Afghanistan, and then Sudan, and then Libya.
But North Korea, clearly.
Syria.
Syria was one of them.
Are we still beasting on Cuba? Or like
Lebanon are the only countries left with their own central bank. That's
Sudan just came apart too.
Yeah.
So
the failed states are becoming more and more. The globe itself has been trying to take down America for a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. And they're being very successful.
Yeah.
Folks in America are one hiccup away from financial ruin. one medical emergency away from bankruptcy.
Yep.
And the wealth that used to be here now lies in the hands of very few people. I would say under 1,000. Under 1,000. The wealth of America belongs to about 1,000 people. And it doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to them. And they are not generous like we are.
No.
That's the biggest takeaway. They are going to screw us and screw us and screw us until there's nothing left to take. And then when they're done with us, they're going to leave us to starve.
This extreme upper crust is literally saving their money for hell, I guess. And like I said before, you can beg them to piss some of it down on you, and they're going to tell you to pound salt because they're taking that and they're keeping it. There is something on the horizon here, and it deals with financial position. It's going to break down what will bring about world peace, if anything can, is the realization that there is indeed an us and a them. And it's like there is like 7-8 billion of us, and like Mike said, like 1,000 of them. And all it takes is for all of us little worker ants to flex, and their entire house of cards falls.
And by flex, he means don't do anything. Just stay home.
Yeah.
We need a general strike across the board, because if we the people don't do something now, it's not going to get any better.
AI is going to enslave us and make us work in Trump's factories, bro. You know, in some grocery stores, they got a robot that travels around, and if it detects a spill or garbage on the floor, it goes and it summons a human to do it. Imagine being the human summoned by a robot.
Like the movie Wall-E.
Mess.
It is.
Clean up the mess, human.
The little vacuum robot come out all pissed off.
No, except you are the vacuum robot.
The human is coming out to clean the robot.
Imagine being told what to do by a fucking computer.
That's
It's
scary.
true. It's true.
So, gentlemen, you have any parting advice after we've kind of dug up all the insolence of the upper class?
Eat the rich, except they probably taste like crap. So all that
Like
vegan diet's disgusting. You're gonna want to
tofu.
adobo, like adobo and butter. If you
Adobo.
I was gonna say I can make them into sausage for you.
yeah, we're gonna want to baste.
We need that Italian sausage seasoning.
Yeah.
Maybe add like
Cook it up,
like
buddy.
20% like pork to that. But yeah,
Adobo.
at the end of the day,
tofu.
Keep on prepping, folks. That's all I can
God.
say.
That's
Keep on prepping.
it's not getting any better.
I'll
And
leave you with this. Make mattress money great again.
Yep.
Mhm.
1% gumbo. They're still on the recipes. Yes, mattress money. Mr. Livingston, how about you?
Remember that except for those about 1,000 people, that every other person you see out there is just like you, walking in probably the same shoes and roughly the same situation. That's your brother, your sister, your comrade, your co-worker, your fellow human being.
Your countrymen.
Be nice if you can, for sure.
The connections that you make by a smile, by a relation, by a connection, irreplaceable.
Yes. Vision, how about you, sir?
Keep on prepping, folks. The worst is yet to come, unfortunately. And we're all in this together. And ouch. And we just got to do what we have to do. Right?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, the Four Horsemen, we will sign off until next week. Whose turn is it next week? Trent?
Me.
Yep.
All right, on Vision's channel next week, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to hit a like. Don't forget to visit all these channels and follow them if you aren't already doing so. Gentlemen, I'll do the video outro and we can chat backstage.
Right on. Stay safe, folks.
Be good,
Peace.
everyone.
they go to Bay Harbor Hospital, 923045.
As a result of the outbreak,
At
the
11:43.
city or entire region may be in danger
Zero
of
to
illegal
SHP,
agents.
authorization
If
is
conditions at your location make this a
41055.
possibility, you need to consider staying in place until the threat has subsided or blown over. The following steps will ensure that your home will serve as a biological or chemical safe haven. Select an inner room on an upstairs floor with the least number of windows and doors. Choose a large room with access to a bathroom and a telephone.
65 affirmative, break, medevac 39, advisor 97 times 39.
West 7147, 1 minus 1, for all 90.